the gift of forgiveness in the small town of Willow Creek, where the church bells chimed every Sunday morning and neighbors waved across picket fences, lived a 16-year-old boy named Daniel Price. Daniel had always been known as the quiet one, polite, thoughtful, and dependable. But beneath that calm surface was a storm that no one really saw. 2 years earlier, Daniel's best friend, Michael, had betrayed him in the cruelest way. They'd grown up together, riding bikes down Oak Street, building forts by the creek, sharing secrets that only best friends share. But one afternoon in 8th grade, Michael spread a rumor about Daniel that wasn't true. It caught fire through the hallways of their school. Kids laughed, mocked, and whispered whenever Daniel walked by. The rumor eventually faded, but the scar didn't. Daniel stopped talking to Michael that day and never looked back. The walls between BI High School. The boys barely glanced at each other. Michael had joined the basketball team, and Daniel threw himself into music, playing piano in the quiet of the church sanctuary. But sometimes, when Daniel passed Michael in the halls, he felt that ache of losing someone who once felt like family. His mother often told him, "Holding on to anger is like carrying a stone in your heart, son. It only weighs you down." Daniel would nod, but never answer. Forgiveness felt impossible. The challenge one chilly November morning. The principal announced an upcoming town fundraiser and event where students would volunteer to perform, serve food, or help organize. The money would go to rebuild the old community center that had burned down years ago. Daniel signed up to play piano. Music was his refuge, his way of giving without speaking. When he arrived at the first planning meeting in the school gym, his stomach dropped. Michael was there carrying boxes of supplies, his tall frame hunched awkwardly. The teacher organizing the event smiled. "Looks like you two will be working together on setup." Daniel froze. Michael looked just as stunned. The weight of silence for days. They worked side by side in silence. Michael taped posters while Daniel arranged chairs. They avoided eye contact, spoke only when necessary, and kept their distance like strangers. But one evening, while stacking boxes in the storage room, Daniel heard Michael mutter under his breath, "I wish I could take it back." Daniel glanced up. "What?" Michael's face turned red. "Nothing." He grabbed another box, avoiding Daniel's gaze. The breaking point the night of the fundraiser arrived. The gym was transformed, tables lined with food, fairy lights strung across the ceiling, a stage at the front. Families from all over town gathered. Daniel sat at the piano, fingers trembling as he prepared to play. But just before he began, he noticed Michael across the room, nervously carrying a tray of drinks. Their eyes met for the first time in years. Something shifted. Daniel thought of the rumor, the laughter, the years of silence. But he also thought of bike rides, forts, and secrets whispered under summer skies. His father's words echoed in his mind. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing love over anger. The song Daniel placed his hands on the keys and began to play. The song wasn't one he had prepared. It was a melody he and Michael had made up years ago, sitting at the piano in Daniel's living room, laughing until their sides hurt. The notes filled the gym, soft, nostalgic, haunting. People listened, swaying gently. But Daniel's eyes stayed locked on Michael. Michael froze, the tray trembling in his hands. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his face, shaky, almost broken, but real. The conversation after the performance. Daniel found Michael by the bleachers. "You remembered that song?" Michael said, his voice barely above a whisper. Daniel crossed his arms. "Yeah, hard to forget." Michael swallowed hard. "I was stupid back then. I was scared of being uncool, so I made you the joke. It was the worst thing I've ever done, and I've wanted to say sorry for 2 years." Daniel stared at him. The anger, the hurt, the walls he had built, they all pressed against his chest. But beneath it was something else. The memory of friendship. The longing for peace. Finally, Daniel said, softly, "I forgive you." The words surprised even him. They weren't easy. They weren't perfect. But they were true. Tears welled in Michael's eyes. "Thank you." The gift from that night on, things didn't go back to the way they were immediately. Trust took time. Wounds needed healing. But slowly, the boys began to rebuild. They hung out after school. They laughed again. They even played basketball together in the driveway. Like old times, Daniel realized forgiveness wasn't about excusing the past. It was about freeing his own heart from the weight it carried. Full circle months later, when Daniel played at the town's newly rebuilt community center, Michael sat in the front row, cheering louder than anyone. Afterward, Daniel's mother hugged him tight. "See, son? Forgiveness was your gift to him and to yourself." Daniel smiled, glancing at Michael. For the first time in years, his heart felt light. Moral of the story: hardest battles aren't always fought on fields or courts. They are fought inside our hearts. Holding on to anger builds walls, or forgiveness builds bridges. Daniel's story reminds us that forgiveness doesn't erase the pain, but it gives us something greater: the chance to heal, to move forward, and to find light where once there was only shadow. Because in the end, forgiveness isn't just a gift for others, it's a gift we give ourselves.